The road from Kargil to Leh felt like a journey through changing worlds, each more breathtaking than the last. The green began to disappear, the mountains became sharper, drier, more exposed. Rivers cut through wide valleys, and every bend seemed to remove another familiar thing until only rock, sky, and road remained. We left Kargil in the morning, ready for another long day on the road. After the green valleys and crowded roads of Kashmir, Ladakh had already started to feel different. The mountains were becoming drier, wider, and more dramatic. There was less traffic, fewer buildings, and more of that endless road disappearing into the distance. The plan was simple: ride to Leh, make a few stops along the way, and reach before nightfall. But in Ladakh, even a simple plan can become an unforgettable journey. Our first stop was Mulbek Monastery. Set against the rugged mountains, it felt like a quiet reminder that these roads have carried travelers for centuries. The monastery stood in complete contrast to the movement of the journey. Places like Mulbek make you slow down without asking you to. They remind you that Ladakh is not only about dramatic roads and high passes, it is also about history, faith, and a way of life shaped by these mountains. Back on the road, the scenery changed again. Every few kilometers, the mountains seemed to take a new shape. It is difficult to explain the scale of Ladakh through camera. On screen, the road may look calm, but when you are riding through it, every valley feels enormous. You feel small, but in the best possible way. Our next brief stop was at Namikala peak. At this altitude, even a short stop feels different. The air is thinner, the wind is colder, and the silence feels deeper. Standing there, surrounded by mountains in every direction, it was easy to understand why Ladakh stays with people long after they return home. The journey is not about reaching one famous location after another. It is about these small moments in between. Stopping at a pass, looking around, and realizing just how far you have traveled. From Namikala, we continued our journey towards Kalsi. The landscape began to change as we passed through Lamayuru. Lamayuru is famous for its surreal moon-like terrain. The stark mountains and the winding roads made this stretch of the ride completely different from what we had seen at the pass. As the altitude gradually dropped, the scenery kept changing. The barren mountains gave way to the winding roads carved along the valleys, with the river flowing beside us. Every turn brought a different view. Towering mountains on one side, the river far below on the other, and miles of open road ahead. We simply kept riding, stopping whenever the landscape demanded a closer look. And somewhere along this stretch, the journey itself became the destination. The light changed slowly across the mountains, turning the valleys warmer and softer. We had covered a long distance since leaving Kargil that morning, but the road never felt repetitive. Ladakh has a way of changing its scenery just when you think you have seen it all. One moment you are surrounded by barren cliffs, the next you are riding beside a river, through a valley, or towards a town hidden between mountains. Every turn felt like the final shot of a film, and somehow the road kept giving us another one. We reached Leh by evening, but the road from Kargil stayed with us long after the ride was over. Because in Ladakh, the destination is never just a place. It is every mountain, every pass, and every kilometer that brings you there. We checked into our homestay, dropped our luggage, and freshened up after the long journey. Later that evening, we headed to the Leh market for a quick stroll, taking in the sights and sounds of the city. After the long journey from Kargil, it felt good to finally slow down and enjoy our first evening in Leh. But this was just the beginning. The next day, we would set out to explore Leh and its surroundings, ancient monasteries, stunning viewpoints, and some incredible landscapes. Our Leh adventure was about to begin.